Hey guys, good morning everybody. Today is Monday, or sorry, Tuesday, September 2nd, 6:24 right now. Market's gonna open up in about 6 minutes. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark up liquidity over here and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. So today's technically our Monday because obviously yesterday was a holiday. Starting to see some pretty crazy movement here. Pre-market, basically London into New York Open, huge drop. So it's been dropping about, I think, almost 600 points from Sunday until today. It's just a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. Of course, I've sent in the my daily outlook for the day. I kind of covered a lot of stuff underlying, the big dumps that have been happening overnight. So, but this being the case, if price continues to dump further, we may be with a sell bias for today. I mean, we don't really know for sure, but we'll kind of follow along if the movement continues in this direction. But we'll play by ear. There's no need to kind of jump to any conclusions here with regard to direction of price. We'll identify where it's moving, and then we'll choose a bias once that time comes. So I'll know the direction of the momentum breakout in about 4 minutes, and then we'll be looking for the orb after that, and then we'll be looking for some continuations in that direction, of course. So, all right, guys, morning, everybody. Today is Monday, it's Tuesday. I keep saying Monday. It's our Monday, and it feels like our Monday. But yesterday was a holiday, so today's Tuesday. So Tuesday, September 2nd, start of a new month. Hopefully this month is just as good as last month, because last month was really good for us, guys. So I'm hoping we can continue on with that momentum. And September will continue to be a directional month for us. So, all right, got everything marked up here, going down to the 10-minute. Back down to the 1 minute here. Yeah, as you guys can see, there's a lot of liquidity here because of this big dump that happened just recently overnight in London session. Pretty much heavy dump to the downside here. All right, guys, looks good. So good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, September 2nd. It is 6:27 right now. We have market opening up in about 3 minutes. I'll know the direction of the momentum breakout in about 2 minutes, around 6:29 once we have that confirmation prior to market open. Looking at the market so far, you guys can see a big dump right here. Looking over here at my outlook for the day. So overall market bias is bearish with medium to high conviction. The reason for that is because fundamentals are firmly risk off, tariff uncertainty, rising yields, Fed independence fears, pre-market weakness, and technicals show YM trapped in a wide range with pressure under short-term moving averages. A downside continuation is more likely, but not a runaway crash. Expect orderly weakness with a sharp squeeze intraday. So with that being the case, we might be looking at a bearish bias for today. You guys can see there's a lot of stuff that's happening behind the scenes. Tariff news, rising yields, Fed independence fears because of Trump firing Fed Cook. There's just a lot of stuff that's starting to unwind from the previous week. A lot of stuff has been happening. The interest rates are forecasted to be cut this month in September. So there's just a lot of things happening. If the interest rates cut, the dollar is going to weaken and then the market's going to go down as well. So with that being the case, there's just a lot of stuff here kind of tying in to overall analysis, and it's kind of throwing the market off a little bit. So direction for the breakout's looking like it's going to be a sell. If you guys are looking for the momentum breakout, I'll mark it up for you guys here in a few. But right now, that's kind of what it's looking like because we do have a sell momentum here. This sell momentum just came up. So I don't know, how much or for how long it'll hold, but that's kind of what it's looking like right now at the moment. So, all right. Let's see who's here so far. Morning, Karen. Morning, Maria. Morning, Daniel. Morning, everybody. Looks like everyone's here so far, or people are still making their way in. 6:29 right now. Direction of the momentum breakout is going to be a sell for those of you who are looking to take it. Again, guys, today is considered our Monday. We're coming back from a long weekend. I would probably be careful with the momentum breakout. I probably wouldn't enter it right away. Probably look for the fake out because the thing is, I think everybody's looking for the sell here because of the big dump. See this big drop from this morning? I mean, it's been dropping since Sunday. So you want to be careful with just chasing that sell, right? Because what might happen here, prices already been dumping for so long. If everybody is looking for that sell, what do you think is going to happen? The market's going to get manipulated on open, right? So you might get a manipulation to the upside right here. It might come up to the sessions, or it might grab liquidity right here, and then it might come right back down. So just keep that in mind. But the direction of the momentum breakout for today is a sell. Probably look for that manipulation up and then come right back down. All right, guys, market is now open. It's actually pretty slow. It's not a big spike like we were kind of expecting right here, which is okay. It's normal. Price is now starting to come down a little bit. Not really, but the volatility here is not as high as I was expecting for that open. I was expecting some sort of volatility spike, up or down. Ideally, the direction for today is going to be bearish, but we will see here in a few. Hey, Ed, morning. All right, guys, market is now open. Price is pushing down. Direction of the momentum breakout, like I said, is going to be a sell. So it's currently running right now in profit. I will follow it here. Got a little bit of a push to the upside. You can see right there, just a little bit of a spike up, and then it came right back down. Momentum breakout looks like it's on its way to full TP, almost down there, halfway through. If you guys are in this position, I would move your stop loss in profit at this point, guarantee profits, full TP right there for the breakout. If you guys took the momentum breakout, I did tell you guys it was a sell right here. You can see the sell momentum, market open right here at 630, full TP for 50 points. Looks like it might continue to drop further to the 100. But we'll follow that and we'll see what happens here as price continues to move along, of course. So we got the orb over here also setting up. Overall direction here, very bearish. Very bearish. So we'll see what happens here when market opens up or it continues to drop lower here. Um, the ATR is currently at 21. It's not super, super high, but it is where it should be for the most part. All right. So we'll follow through right here as price continues to move along. Got about 18 seconds left on this candle. All right, this thing's still dumping. I don't like how it's continuing to drop further. I want it to retrace back up a little bit at least, and then break below. All right, so the orb low is going to be right here at 45,072. 45,072 for the orb sell. If you guys are looking to take the orb right there, I'll be looking for it to break and close below this 45,072. I need it to be a clean break, guys. Like we talked about this before, I don't want it to keep testing it. Like I don't want it to test it, test it, test it, and then finally break. I want it to be a clean break. So right here, one test is okay, but the next one, I need it to actually break past it, close, retest, and continue dropping from there. So I'm looking at the price action right here. Price action is looking pretty decent. But again, I don't want it to keep testing this level. I want it to actually break below it and stay below that point there, right? All right, so price looks like it's going to break below right here. We got about 8 seconds. I'm going to be setting my order if it closes below it. All right, I'll put my limit order right there. So there's two things that are going to happen here. Either price comes down and doesn't retest. So if it comes down to the target right here and doesn't come up and retest it, I'm going to cancel my order. If it comes up right here, it'll fill my order and I'll be in the position. And I'll hold on to it from there. Hasn't filled it yet. So it's still pushing up. I'm now in the position there. All right, so it's now active. Currently running in profit about 12 points. Once it reaches a 30-point mark right here, my stop loss will get moved in profit to 10. So I'm going to mark this up right here just so I have an idea where that 30 is at. And wait, why did it fill my order? That's weird. Okay, I'm going to hold on to it here to see where it's at. But for some reason, it said order filled right now. It's currently running right there in profit, 13 points. So once it reaches this 30 right here, my stop loss is going to get moved in profit. Yeah, I don't know what happened with that there. It said that. Well, my trade's still running, so I don't know why it made that notification earlier. All right, Orb is running right there. Almost at my 30 points. The volatility here is really high, guys. I think I'm going to move my stop loss and profit a little closer. Yeah, I'm just going to move my stop loss and profit now. Ah, fuck. It was too close. Shit. Okay, so I got kicked out of that position right now, unfortunately. Um,
Stop filled.
so I got
Stop
stopped out in
filled.
profit right there. Yeah, I got stopped out right there. So I moved my stop loss and profit. I got out in profit right there, guys. I didn't like the price action here. As price was kind of sitting around that area. So it's actually a good thing that I moved my stop loss and profit because I got out right there about 10 points. I moved it. The volatility here was very choppy. So I got out of this for partial profit. That was some quick thinking right there. I'm glad I moved it in profit. Otherwise, I would have gotten stopped out at 20 points. Man, a lot of choppiness here. So I'll post my profits up in the chat right now, guys. Uh, this is why it's important that you guys are able to think on your feet and that you guys are following along because I did see the price action here. It got close to my 30 points that we were talking about. So like right here, right? I saw like it get really close to the 30 points. It didn't get to the 30 points and it kept sitting around this area. Whenever you see something like this and it starts to stall out, that's where you want to start to think twice about your position, right? Because this breakout is supposed to hit right away. It's supposed to fill and then go straight down. If it starts to sit right here and it just sits there for a couple, a minute or a candle or two, at that point, you might want to move your stop loss and profit like I did here and then get out of this position quickly. So right here, I moved my stop loss and profit. I was a little bummed out because I got kicked out early, but I'm glad that I got kicked out early because if I held on to it, it would have hit my stop loss, right? Choppy market today. This is our Monday because yesterday was a holiday and I'm glad I pulled out of this for a partial profit. So I got out of this right here. We got pretty close to the 30 points. It was 28 points in profit. I was supposed to get my auto target in profit at 30 points, but then I saw on my Ninja Trader that it was fluctuating really fast. The price action was going from like 3 points in profit to 5 points in profit to 20 points in profit to 28. And then it just kept fluctuating up and down, up and down. So when I saw it fluctuating like that, I was like, okay, it's time to get out of this position, move my stop loss in profit, and I got out at about 10 points. So I will take a screenshot of this right here and document this as a partial profit. We'll continue looking for continuations here, guys, but there's nothing here right now at the moment. I'm still looking for sell continuations. Let me clean this up a little bit as price continues to move along. Man, I really thought that at first I was kind of upset because I was like, man, I got out of that a little too early, too prematurely, but I'm glad that I did. So we got some team profits right here. Jonathan. Jonathan's been on fire, guys. If you've seen Jonathan here, he's been taking the momentum breakout every single day. So a profit of 750 right there. Jonathan killed it on that momentum breakout. The day before that, he made 450. The day before that, he made 488. Day before that, he made 244. So he's been taking the same entry every single day. 85 that day prior, 685. You can see over here, all of his profit screenshots are exactly the same. So you know who's Jonathan here. So nice work, Jonathan, on catching that momentum breakout. Again, here are my profits. Let me show them to you real quick. Yeah, this was a partial for me. Man, what a way to start off the month, right? September. But we'll see. I'm gonna look for continuation here. So I'm looking for a high-low break and retest right here at the 45,044. Again, I'm gonna watch the price action just in case that same situation happens again. I'm gonna put this number over here in my ticket window, 45,044. And let me screenshot my profits for the day so far. I don't understand why my Ninja Trader made that notification earlier, but All my positions close out in profit here. So yeah, I don't know why I made that noise earlier. I thought maybe it closed out early on some of my accounts, but it looks like they're all pretty much about the same. Yeah, not a big win, but I mean, it's a win I'll take on that for my partial. So guys, just make sure to follow my analysis. I mean, it's okay to follow your own analysis if you don't want to follow mine, but I'm going to give you guys the insight as to like when to move your stop loss in profit there. So here are my trades. So I took this trade here for a partial, like I mentioned, guys, and then here are my profits. I'm just being transparent with you guys. I did make some profit on it. Not a full profit, of course, but I did make some profit on it. I made about 180 on these accounts, 420 on these accounts, 160 on these accounts, 420 on these accounts down here. My other accounts, I locked in about 420 on these accounts, 140, 210, 105, 245. So I bought two more Purdy accounts, guys. Purdy allows for three accounts now. So I bought two more Purdy straight to live funded accounts. And I have have a couple more accounts under my belt now. So I have quite a bit of accounts that I'm copying with a couple different prop firms. That's why you see a little bit more profit here because I have an extra two more accounts that are copying now. So this is a high-low break and retest setting up, guys. This is a little tricky because this candle is huge. So I don't know if I'll be taking this right here. If you guys want to take it, I mean, feel free. Again, if this ends up hitting the target before it fills, you got to cancel it anyways. So if you guys want to take it, the entry is going to be right here at 45,044. I'm going to hold off on this one. I think this candle is too big. What I'm worried about is that price is going to pull up, retrace to the halfway point, and then maybe come back down. Or what might happen here is price may retrace to the full candle and then come back down. Right. So price is retracing. The entry is technically filled right now. Again, there's two areas where price is going to retrace to either the halfway mark or it can retrace to the full candle. This is why it becomes tricky because if it retraces to the full candle, then you get stopped out before it comes down and hits your target, right? So just something to keep that in mind. Let's see. Sam said he's staying out of the market for now. Daniel said he stopped him out in profit for 15. Nice work, Daniel. Did the same thing as I did as well. Yeah, he said any win is better than a stop loss, 100%, especially in this type of market because, and here we go. See, this is why I skipped the trade. Guys, again, if you guys are taking these entries, just follow my analysis, right? Because I've seen this happen one too many times. The candle's too big like that, it's probably going to retrace up. There's two retracement points, halfway mark or the full candle. So you just follow my lead here, guys. I mean, you just got to listen to what I'm saying here because I've seen this happen one too many times and I've gotten stopped out here one too many times. So, I'm not falling for these traps here. You guys got to also keep in mind that today is Trap Tuesday, right? Today isn't Monday, it's Tuesday. There was no market open yesterday, so today is the start of our week, the start of our month, and we are continuing with our analysis here further as we continue to follow this through. So just be smart about today, guys. I'm being smart about today. I'm taking a lot of precaution here. It's not one of those days where you should be taking unnecessary risk because this is just not the market that you should be jumping into like that. This is a market where you kind of want to sit back, let the market come to you, and then when it comes to you, go from there. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and update this a little bit. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for a possible balance. I don't know if these sells are going to hold for too long. I think eventually this is going to bounce back up. The reason why I say that is because let's go back real quick to the 5 minute and then let's just measure how far price has been dumping from here. It's been dumping for a long time. So looking over here from Sunday up until now, this is due for retracement or even reversal. Price has dumped 736 points so far. If you look over here on the 15-minute, we're starting to get a big wick on the bottom. This may be time for it to reverse back to the upside, right? A correction back up. Or it could be temporary, right? Price can correct back up right here and then come right back down. But Yeah, that's kind of where I'm watching price right now. It's it's a balancing game right here because price is very imbalanced. It's dumped down so far from Sunday until now. It's gonna have to balance out at some point. People are buying the dip, of course, right? People aren't chasing the sells here. That's the problem here is that people are trying to chase the sells, but you got to understand that eventually price is going to have to balance out, which is what I'm waiting for. I'm looking for that price to balance out. And if it doesn't balance out yet, that's fine because I can still continue following it down, but I'm not going to take anything that's super out of whack, right? Candle's too big. Price action isn't good. If anything, price might just range down here for a bit, right? Just a lot of back and forth right there. So we'll see. Yeah, Big C said hitting the daily 20 doesn't seem to want to go past for now. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm seeing too. I mean, the ATR is pretty high, so we are getting some pretty high volatility, but if anything, it might just kind of stay flat at this point. So we'll keep watching as price continues to move along. Again, no need to force anything here. Getting some connection loss over here on my Ninja Trader. I'm still looking for entries, guys. I'm not done trading for the day. Right now, market is starting to consolidate sideways. So if that's the case, then you know, obviously not going to force anything here. Seems like a lot of people are out of the market still for today, probably extending the long weekend another day, which I don't blame people because you guys can see the craziness happening today. It's probably better to sit back anyways. I mean, I'm still looking for entries here, but you guys can see from the market volatility here, it's starting to die out and it's starting to go sideways. This means that there's no liquidity. Well, I mean, there's liquidity in the market, but there's no volatility. There's no volatility or direction. The ATR is currently at 30, so pay attention to the ATR down here. If this ATR drops down below 30, that shows that volatility is leaving the market. If it goes up, that means volatility is entering the market. So right there, it's still going up. It's at 31. This is going to be the balancing volatility, the ATR, right? Look at the ATR. Now it's down to 29. So what does that indicate? The market's starting to balance a little bit. We want it to be balanced out. The average ATR is going to be around 20. So if this drops down from 30 down to 20, that's great. That's how market's supposed to be moving. If it goes above 30, then it's a little abnormal with regard to volatility. You can see right here, it's just averaging out around 30. So we'll see. Just got to give it some time. Price here is going back and forth. Again, if you guys want to take an entry right here, the next entry for high-low break and retest is going to be at 45,016. The thing that you want to be careful for here, again, same thing that we talked about on the last candle right here, right? This candle is a really big candle. You don't want to enter when it's too big because if it's too big like that, and you can tell if it's too big because your stop loss is going to be super within the candle. See this right here? So this is going to be a high-low break and retest setup again, but again, this candle is way too big, right? You compare this to your stop loss. Your stop loss is really tight. It's 20 points. So this is a 60-point candle. If, again, there's two places where this candle is going to retrace to, right? It's retracing right now as we speak. It's going to retrace to the halfway mark, which will stop you out, or it'll retrace to the full candle, which will also stop you out, right? It's doing exactly what I just showed you right here. So don't fall for these traps, guys. Right? Don't fall for these traps. If the candle's too big, just leave it alone, let it pass. You guys got to remember that with trading, there's going to be infinite amount of entries for you to take. The real skill with trading is not calling, an entry. The real skill of trading is really understanding when to sit out. Right now is a good time to sit out. Right? I told you guys to sit out of this one, you avoided a loss. I told you to sit out of this one, you avoided another loss. Right? It's all about risk management, guys. The thing with trading is not your goal isn't really to get those lucky trades because it's easy to get lucky, right? You could take a buy or sell anywhere. Like right now, you can take a buy and maybe you'll get lucky. Price will push up. Or you can take a sell right here because price is at this higher end, then you can get lucky and price will come down, right? The skill isn't taking the trades. The skill is being able to sit out of the market, right? Sitting on your hands, sitting on the sideline, just waiting for the markets to play out in your favor. Right now, it's not playing out in my favor because price is going back and forth. If you want to take an entry here, your best bet is to take liquidity sweeps, right? Take the extreme. So if you want to take liquidity sweeps here, wait for price to reach this lower high and sweep it from there. Vice versa. If price comes down to this lower low, sweep it from there, right? Because market's going sideways. Like I said, there's three different ways market moves. Market is either trending up, it's either trending down, or it's going sideways, right? What's the market doing right now? It's going sideways. So if it's going sideways, this is the best type of market to be taking sweeps and V1 variations. The only problem is that market's not going to go sideways forever, right? Eventually, it's going to break out of this range and it's going to push up, or it's going to break out of this range and it's going to push down, right? So right here, price is now pushing up. It's pretty much it is starting to correct up a little bit. Like I mentioned earlier, this thing's been dumping for too long. It's about time for it to start correcting back up. You can see over here on the 30-minute candle, huge wick on the bottom side. Look at this on the 15-minute, huge wick, right? So that correction is bound to happen. It doesn't mean it's going to hold. Correction might happen right here and then might come right back down. But we'll see. Not in any positions here. I'm going to clean this up a little bit as price continues to move along. Yeah, CJ City, I thought about taking today off since the market is always crazy or has low volatility the day after a holiday. Yeah, same here, CJ. I was kind of I was thinking twice about taking the orb today, but the orb just looked right because it was dumping. And that's why I decided to take it. And I'm glad I did because it played out perfect. Um, All right, so nothing here right now, guys. Price is pushing back. It's right back to open. It's doing exactly what I told you guys about, right? So I mentioned over here, look for price to correct back up. It's probably going to reach the open, which it did, and it might come back down. There's two things that may happen here. It's starting to establish a bigger range. So let's go over here real quick. I don't have any structure marked up on the chart. I'm going to go ahead and mark up my structure now. So I got a support right here. Let's extend this over. So that is a support level right there. I got a resistance here. Price kind of broke up above it. Resistance turned support. We got another resistance right here, turn support. Resistance right there. Resistance right there. We got some gaps right here, some fair value gaps, some imbalances, but I mean there's a lot of them here. So I see a fair value basically an imbalance right here. I don't know if I'll keep it here because it kind of lines with it aligns with my support there, so I don't really need it. There's another one right here though. Could leave this one here for now, just in case. So there's an imbalance right here. This is important because you can use this as a retest area. There's also another imbalance. There's a lot of imbalances. They're just the imbalances are filling up from these big candles, right? So there's these huge green candles right here. There's an imbalance right here, but I'm not going to mark that up because it lines up with the support. There's an imbalance right here, price pushed up. It's connecting from this candle to this candle right here. And then we have another imbalance, which is right here. This is connecting from this candle and this candle right here. So price is retesting this imbalance right now. There's two things that can happen right here, right? We have an imbalance right here. Price has already retested it. So broke past the imbalance, retested. There's two things that may happen for this retest, right? After this retest, price can continue climbing up higher, or if it mitigates this imbalance and comes below, it can drop right down below it. But we're getting a huge correction right here. Price is swinging up as we speak. This could have been a high-low break and retest to the upside, but my overall market structure is not bullish, so I'm not looking for buys here yet. I'm looking for price to actually correct back down. So looking at this here, price broke and retest off this higher high. It also broke and retest off the imbalance right here. Yeah, we had an imbalance there. We also have an imbalance right here. So basically broken retest off that imbalance. All right. Let's see. Ed is asking, is there any reason to use YM instead of ES? I've been trading YM pretty much strictly for the past 8 years, so that's the main reason why I'm trading YM today. The main reason why I've traded YM since then is because I've always traded YM even before that. I traded US 30 before YM, which was basically the equivalent. So the main reason why I chose YM over ES is because it's volatile. It's more volatile versus ES, right? With ES, you can maybe catch a few points and it's a little more stable. But the thing is, I trade breakouts and I trade momentum, so I need the volatility. I don't need I don't need too much volatility, so that's why I don't trade NQ. But I need more volatility than ES. ES is a lot slower compared to YM, so that's why for me personally, I trade YM versus ES. But I've always traded YM, so I've been trading YM every single day for the past 8 years, live on this YouTube stream. So the thing so that's the reason why I chose YM, and the reason why I stuck with YM is because I found it to be more consistent. I know, it's like one or the other. People are either trading YM or they're trading ES, or they're trading YM or they're trading NQ. YM is like a good middle point between the two, right? NQ is super volatile. ES is a little slow. If you want to trade order flow, ES is probably going to be your best option. I don't trade order flow. I just trade momentum and trend. So with me, YM is like the good middle point. NQ could be a good one, but it's too crazy. It's too crazy. It's too volatile. So for me, I don't like it. And I found YM to be a good balance between the two. It has volatility, but it also has consistency and balance with regard to movement here. It's really easy to follow price action here. Like once you get good at it, it's easy to follow it because you can see here, price went in consolidation. And I already mentioned this when price is down here, I said look out for the break and retest and continuation up, or look for the break below and follow through down. Right. So I've been trading this for so long that I know how to read the price action for YM, but there's always going to be, like I always see movements for YM. Like the thing is, I've seen ES. Like let's go to ES real quick. Like ES moves just like YM, but a lot of times it's a lot slower. Right now it's very mirror-like. So if you put YM and ES next to each other, they look very similar. But if you looked at YM and ES yesterday or last week at least, they look completely different. So here's ES right here, right? They're very similar today. But if you looked at ES and look at this, so see over here how there's like the choppiness here and the choppiness here are slightly different. Movement's typically the same, but if you look at them last week, they weren't actually moving the same, which was very unusual. But you can see over here the choppiness between these two they're very similar, but if you measure the movement per candle here, this is like maybe a 5 point move, and then you compare it to YM over here, it's a little bit double, like 10 points. So it gives me a little more cushion too. to trade with a wider TP stop loss versus one that's super tight. All right, we got price pushing up higher, guys. The overall bias is still kind of mixed. So the 1 minute is very bullish, but everything else is still kind of bearish. So I'm not looking for anything here at the moment. Um, we have another imbalance right here. It's a small imbalance, but it is an imbalance nonetheless. Price is retesting. So again, right here, another imbalance. So price is retesting the imbalance again right here. There's two things that may happen. Price may break and retest the imbalance and continue up higher, or price may mitigate this imbalance and come right back down below. If you guys are just joining in, there's a couple entries that came up today so far. We had the momentum breakout, another full TP right there. It actually dropped down to 100 points. So momentum breakout right here hit full TP for 50 and it dropped down to 100. The orb entry for today, I took this for a partial right here. So price broke below, filled my order, didn't like the price action, moved my stop loss and profit, and then I locked in a partial profit on that there. Here are my profits from that orb entry. So, for me right now, small partial profits better than none. Obviously, you can see here the manipulation that was happening at the orb low. Price pretty much came down, swung up, came right back down, swung up, right, came right back down, and then full on reversal to the upside. It's kind of been the case lately with the orb here. This is why, you'll see people who are orb traders and they're not very consistent, right? Like the thing is, the orb is a very simple strategy. It's a very easy and simple strategy to follow, but everybody has different filters and confluences, right? That's why for me here, I think this is what sets me apart from other orb traders is that I'm able to read the price action and I understand when to close the gap. I closed the gap here. I got out proper timing, and then I was able to get out for a partial profit. A lot of people would have gone stopped out here, right? Because there's a couple different ways to trade this. Some people enter on the close. If you entered on the close, you would have gone stopped out because this thing was spiked up so quickly. Also, some people here enter on the retest and they place their stop loss at the swing, and then they go for a 1 to 2. If you were trading that way, you would have gone stopped out as well. So there's a lot of different orb traders out there. Everyone does their orb a little different. And I'm no different, right? I do mine's a little different as well. And I look for more of quality and consistency with my entries versus, just taking the orb as is. You can take the orb as is, but you're going to eat a lot of losses along the way, of course. All right, this thing is it's still not dumping back down. It's actually climbing up very, very violently right now. It's pushing up very, very strongly. Um, which is fine. I talked about this before market opened up. I said, market was due for correction to the upside, right? It was due for a correction to the upside. Unfortunately, I had an order sitting right here on my FTMO account. It didn't fill. So I'm probably just going to cancel my order. It already hit its target. It got right to it and it just did not fill. All right, so I canceled my order on my FTMO. I was trying to catch the dip right there. Price literally went straight to the 45,000 and it shot up. It didn't fill, of course, on FTMO. This is like one of the reasons why I don't like FTMO guys and CFDs is that it doesn't align with exact price. Like it doesn't even align with exact price over here. If you look at over here, it's currently at 45,280. Yeah, 45,241. And then over here, see, I was trying to get in right here at the 45. It didn't, it got really close. And again, if you guys didn't realize, FTMO is back open to US clients. So if you're looking to trade with FTMO, you can sign up for an account. I signed up for an account just to like kind of test it out. I'm going to see how the payouts are. Hopefully the payouts are just how they were before. And if they are good, then, I'll recommend it to you guys. Damn, see this shit. It was so close. It literally came down to my entry point right there at 45,000, but it didn't fill it for me. So I just canceled my order. I had a pending order there though, waiting for the fill. And it was kind of interesting looking at MT5 because we haven't seen a MetaTrader window in a long time because it hasn't been open to the US clients. But yeah, like I said, the pricing is way different. Like this is the Wanda price, which it should be lined. It's at 45,238, and you look over here at it's at 45,326. It's off by like 100 to 200 points. It's kind of annoying, but it's okay. I'm trading off whole numbers, so it's not exactly going to be a big problem for me. All right, we're still watching here, guys. You kind of went off track with, the stuff there that we're looking at, but there's no entries here for us to take at the moment. Again, I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. Prices, I mean, price is mooning right now. It's going pretty high up. Nothing for me to take though. Huge correction to the upside. A lot of imbalances over here that are starting to develop and produce. There's another imbalance right here that's currently active. I mean, there's just more imbalances. So again, this imbalance is from this green candle to this red candle right here. You guys can see there's a lot of imbalances right here, right? This imbalance is between this green candle and this one right here. Same with these up here. This imbalance is from this red candle or this green candle to this red candle right here. So it's retesting that area. I wouldn't necessarily say this is a good opportunity because, I mean, price here is kind of all over the place. I'm gonna clean up this imbalance actually. Or I guess I could leave it if you guys want to see. Okay, so there's an imbalance here. Price is retesting the imbalance. Again, there's two things that may happen here. This is the same thing we talked about from these previous imbalances. For a lot of these here, price retested. So for example, retest, retest, again right here, retest and push up, or price can invalidate this and come back down. Right? There's two things that may happen here. It's either going to break and retest this imbalance, or it's going to come below, mitigate this imbalance, and drop lower. I'm still not convinced here to take any buys. Like I said, look at my market structure down here. It's a little mixed. I mean, it's starting to look more bullish, but right now it's not a good time to chase the buys. Because if anything, there could be a huge correction that may just come up. This could be establishing a huge range right here, and it may just come right back down, right? So it may just come right back down. Looking over here at my overall trend. So the 1 minute's currently bullish, 5 minutes still bearish, 15 minutes bearish, 30 minutes bearish, 1 hour is bearish, and the 4 hour here is bullish. So with that being the case, if you look at the overall trend here, they don't align, right? The 1 minute here is bullish, of course, because price pushed up finally, but over here on the 5 and 15, 30, and 1 hour, it's still bearish. So on the extremes here, they're bullish. So the 1 minute's bullish, four hours bullish. However, in between 5 minute, 15, 1 hour, 30 minute, everything here is still bearish. So that being the case, this could be a temporary push to the upside. Um, it may start to balance out here. And then if it starts to pull back down, so this is what might happen. Price may come down, bounce off the open, and then come right back up. Because the 1 hour or the 4 hour here is still bullish. So if that's the case, right, this could be a possible just retracement and then continuation back up for correction because the 4 hour was bullish last week and pretty much for the past couple months, right? The 4 hour is always going to be leading, of course. So if that's the case, we might have this be a long-term correction to the upside, which is fine. I always expect US 30 or YM to be bullish anyway. So it's, the correction is going to happen eventually. We don't know if it's going to happen today, if it's going to happen tomorrow, if it's going to happen next week, next month. It can happen whenever. So you just got to be smart about it. Like I said, don't force any entries here. There's no need to force anything, right? You have a whole week ahead of you guys. Today's technically our Monday. We got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday ahead of us. And it's NFP week as well. So you got to be smart about the trade that you guys decide to take here. Because the last thing you want to do is dig a hole for yourself, and then all week you have to dig yourself out, right? I'm okay with taking profits here and there. Here, let's see. Maria's asking, can you trade that FTMO account from TradingView? No, you can't, Maria. Unfortunately, you can't. You have to trade on MT5. It's the only platform that's available. It's kind of weird, right? Because I would expect him to be able to trade directly on Oanda. The thing is, the pricing is way different too, so that's another thing too. Like I was trying to get it as close as possible to whatever price is on MT5. So right here, the symbol is even weird because it's US 30 U, so it's US 30 USD. This is the Oanda price, and the thing is, this is on Oanda, so you can see we're Oanda prop trader, but it's not the same price. It's different. So. Yeah, unfortunately, no, it's not the case. So yeah, you'd have to trade on MT5 for that. Let's see. Big C's asking, anyone here use AMP Quant Tower? Um, there are a couple people. Kevin uses Quant Tower. I don't know if he's on here right now. He does use Quant Tower. I think Barack might use Quant Tower too. I know he uses Sierra, which is they use Quant Tower. I'm trying to think who else. Yeah, I'm not sure. Those are the only two people that I know personally that use. I know there's other people here, but they just haven't mentioned it. But it's usually the people who bought Rhythmic accounts on accident. They had to they had to use Quant Tower because you can't mix the two. You can't mix Rhythmic and Tradeovate. So there's two people that I know of. Kevin, which I don't think is here. He's on vacation right now, and then Barack, which I don't think is here either. He's also on vacation. Those are the two main people I know who use Quant Tower. The next time I see them on here, see, I'll let them know, and you can probably get in connection with them if you need help with something. Kim is asking, FY Trump is making some kind of announcement at 2 Eastern. Thanks, Kim. Okay, so let's see. Trump is about to make some sort of announcement, which is obviously going to shake up the market, of course. We had news over here at 6:45. That's what I forgot to look at. So we had news over here at 6:45. Let me mark that up real quick. Okay, so it looks like the news here impacted the market. Let me see what the news was. So it was S&P Manufacturing PMI, which was negative. It was a high impact news event. It ended up coming down right after that came out, and then it reversed right back up. So we had that news event right there at 6:45, and then at 7 o'clock we had ISM Manufacturing PMI also negative. Okay, so that's interesting. Looking at this here, we had pretty much back-to-back negative news, or I could see right here. Okay. So with that being the case, this is probably why the push to the upside slowed down. I was kind of wondering what caused the slowdown here, but it looks like the news here was negative at 7 o'clock, this big green candle. So what happened looks like it manipulated to the upside, and then now it's starting to correct back down because the news events over here are both negative. They're both inflation news events. We had S&P Global Manufacturing PMI, and then we had ISM Manufacturing PMI, both inflation news right there, both negative. There's nothing else for today aside from Trump speaking at 2 Eastern. So that's going to be, I think, 11 o'clock my time. So 11 o'clock Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, thanks, Kim, for the heads up on that one. I didn't know he was speaking today. So there's two things that may happen here. Price is either going to sit right here and break out to the upside. Ideally, I think the breakout to the upside is more ideal because there's so much liquidity hanging out right here, right? So price might push up and then grab that liquidity. The other case here is price breaks below, mitigates this imbalance, and it comes back down to the opening price. I mean, it's really a toss-up here. So you can see over here how price was consolidating ranging. And right here, price is consolidating ranging. So eventually it's going to break out, right? See what happens after this consolidation? Breakout. After this consolidation right here, same thing, possibly a breakout that's going to lead up to it. So I'll see. I don't have a bias right now. Overall market structure here is a bit neutral now. If this is the case and it stays bullish, then, so be it. I'll look for some buys. Right now it's 7:13. It's actually still really early in the session, guys. It feels pretty late. I thought it was almost 7:30, but it's not. It's only 7:13. So Market here is going sideways. I'm going to wait for this to either break above or break below. The ATR is currently at 30, so we still have very high volatility right now. Again, follow this average, right? The more that the average drops, the lower the volatility. The more that the average picks up, the higher the volatility. The average right now is about 30 points. So we will we'll follow through and see where this ends up going. Let's see, question from Alad. Alad's asking, Sean, can you talk about a bit about swing trading that you want to start taking? Um, so there's no specific strategy for it, right? Swing trading is kind of finding your position and then just kind of holding on to it. So for me, I'm just kind of trading around the whole numbers. Like there's no real strategy behind it. I'm buying the dip, right? I'm trading like as if I was trading the asset as a long hold. So I mean it's I'm trying to make it make sense, but it's there's no like the strategy behind it is really kind of I'm dollar cost averaging into the position. Like for example here, YM is a bullish asset, right? It's not like the strategies that we're applying here. Like I'm not trading both ways. I'm only trading one direction because YM typically goes bullish, right? If you look at this on the higher time frame, there's always going to be dips here, right? So price is going to push up, it's going to dip, and what I'm doing is I'm just buying the dip. So, it might sound like I'm doing something intricate or like there's a strategy to it, but there's not really any strategy to it. Like that's the whole point of swing trading, right? I'm basically buying it and I'm gonna hold it for it until it comes up. Like I'm never gonna sell for a loss for the most part. The problem with this here is that you can't really swing trade, 100% because it's with a prop account. So there's going to be a limit, right? You can't hold on to it forever. So for me, I'm trying to figure out the parameters of like how long I want to hold on to it. So the main idea of the swing trading concept is swing trading as is, right? I'm buying the dip. So whenever price comes down to a certain number, I'm buying that dip and I'm riding it back up. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. That's why for me, I was looking to get in at that 45, right? Because that was a whole number right there, 45,000, right? I was looking for me to catch that dip and then ride it back up 200 to 500 points. My number right now is about 250 because that's the volatility right now in the market. So like the volatility right now, it's not super, super volatile. So I'm holding it for about 250 points. So I'm basically catching the dip and then trying to ride it up 250 points and then pulling out because the thing is I can't hold a position over the weekend. Um, but yeah, my swing trading, I'm basically catching these positions. Don't do the swing trading stuff on Apex. All right. So don't even think about doing it with Apex because you're gonna blow the account. I'm gonna guarantee that you're gonna blow the account. That's how sure I am. If you're gonna swing trade, you got to use your own money or you have to trade with an account that's considered a swing account. So, I'm trading the swing trades with FTMO because I can hold these out for the whole week. That's why I'm looking for swing trades between Sunday and Wednesday. I'm cutting off after that because I need to be out by Friday, right? So I'm looking for these swing trades here, but these swing trades are going to last like, maybe a day, maybe 2 days, but I'm not holding it past Wednesday because with FTMO, you can hold it until Wednesday or you can hold it until Friday, but you got to close out before the weekend. So it's not really, it's swing trading to an extent. Typically, swing trading, you can hold on to it for a couple days, couple weeks, couple months. Um, like for me, I swing trade. I have multiple accounts, right? For my own investment accounts, I'll swing trade and I'll hold on to positions for like a couple weeks, if not a couple months. Like right now, I'm currently red well, I'm red at the moment on my investment accounts because I'm swing trading stocks, right? Um, Let me check. I don't even want to look at it, but I know I'm in the red right now from Nvidia because I bought Nvidia a couple. Yeah, I'm getting fucking destroyed right now with Nvidia, but I know it's gonna come back. So right now in my stock holdings, I'm holding Visa, AMAT, which is Applied Mathematicals, and then Nvidia. I'm just dollar cost averaging into these positions and I'm holding on to it. So basically I'm buying the dips, like I mentioned over here for US 30, and I'm trying to get out when it pushes back into profit. So that's the basic gist of like me swing trading. It's not like what we're doing here with the day trading, though. It has nothing to do with the day trading. It's really just buying dips at whole numbers. So the whole number could be 45,000. The whole number could be 44,000. The whole number could be 45,500, etc. The thing with my swing trades, though, is that I'm not double dipping into the position, right? If I take a position and it loses at a certain price point, like say, for example, I got in right here at 45,250, right? If I got in at 45,250, we should be right here. And then with these profit counts, I do have to have you have to have a stop. You can't, it's not like regular swing trading where you don't have a stop and you just hold on to it forever. I do have a stop in place, which is going to be equal to my target. So that is, that's the basic gist of it. The thing is, you shouldn't even think about swing trading. Like, don't compare the two unless you're like you're actually swing trading. But yeah, I mean, if you want to look into it, look into dollar cost averaging. That's basically what I'm doing. I'm just getting in at a discount and then I'm holding on to it until it makes profit and then I pull out of it. So I'm basically just recycling the money. I'll catch the dip, I'll ride it up, pull out for X amount of profit, ride the dip, same thing. I'm just kind of doing that every single whenever I have the opportunity. And then I'm not double dipping into same prices. A lot is asking, will you announce your YM swing trading too in the Discord? I mean, maybe. I didn't think about it because nobody here is really swing trading. But yeah, maybe eventually, if there's enough people who are actually swing trading, yeah, maybe I'll announce it in there. The thing is, like, it's it's so I don't have to like wait for it, right? I just kind of let the position there hold. So I mean, yeah, in the future, yeah, maybe I could share the positions, but the thing is, there's not really going to be much to. I mean, anybody could do it. It's not rocket science. You're looking at whatever the whole numbers are, right? Like for example, over here, I just use a levels indicator and I have the levels here marked up. So like basically, there's areas for dip right there, right? All the whole numbers. So it's not, like I said, it's not rocket science. It's like you can mark this up yourself. You can just put the whole numbers up. The whole numbers don't change. They're always going to be the same whole numbers. It just depends on where you want to put the whole numbers, right? 45,750, 45,500, 45,250, 45,000. If you want to go by the 500s, you can just go by 500s, right? Instead of having at 250s, there could be there too. But yeah, eventually maybe I'll do it, but right now it's kind of pointless because nobody else is going to follow these trades. If you want to hold it at the 500s, but then this is where it becomes a problem because if you do it at the 500s and your price never fills, you're just not going to have any entries ever. So the goal here is still to make profit and to turn a profit weekly. Um, but I mean, sometimes it's not going to fit. If I had a legit swing trading account, like it was just an account where I don't have to worry about drawdown or any of that stuff, then I would probably go on the 500 level because for this is the more accurate level where you can kind of just buy. Like for example, I'd buy here at the 44 or 45,000, hold on to it, and then ride this back up, basically for a one-to-one. So yeah, I mean, this is how these swings are happening. That's why for the FTMO, I just have these for the swinging counts because I can't. It's too hard to trade multiple platforms, right? Like for example, here I'm using MT5, and then I'm using TradingView. It's just and then I'm using NinjaTrader. There's just too many things for me to look at. So yeah, I mean, if you guys want to look at these positions, I mean, you guys can. Like I said, I'm marking my levels at the 2,500 mark. So if you want to do this a lot, if you just want to see where the levels are, just go to the levels indicator, put in, 250 right there. But again, don't use this on your prop accounts, guys. I can't emphasize it enough. This is why I don't want to dig too deep into this because I already know some people are going to think about doing this on the Apex and they're going to blow their accounts. So I wouldn't recommend doing it. But yeah, a lot. Eventually, I'll probably show the positions, but right now it's just kind of pointless. At the moment. Ark is asking, can we swing trade at low contracts? I wouldn't do it because there's a trailing drawdown with Apex. So if you're trading with Apex, definitely not Ark, because if you're going to do that, you can be in profit. Like for example, the same market that I just drew right here, you can be in profit right here, Ark, but if it comes down even a little bit, or just, it starts to pull back a little bit, you could blow your account and still be in profit. So again, guys, I'm going to emphasize this as much as possible. Do not use this strategy with Apex. Anything with the trailing drawdown, do not use this because if you use this, you can still lose even though you're in profit, even if you're using a small contract size. It's just not going to work out. The thing is, and you can't do this as well, Arc, because if you do this, it's going to eat into your consistency rule. And you can't do with Apex anyways because you have to be out of this position by the end of the day. Right. So another like Apex, the rules are really, really strict, guys. It's impossible to swing trade with Apex. Don't even think about it. if you want to swing trade, your best option is really going to be FTMO because you can hold on to it for a whole week, right? With FTMO here, you can buy into a position on Sunday, hold on to that thing until Friday, and then close out. You can't do it with Apex, you can't do it with Tradeify, you can't do it with none of these US companies because they require that you close out of your positions by the end of the day. So it's impossible to swing trade on a futures account because you got to be cleared out by the end of the day. All right, guys, back to the charts here. So it looks like this imbalance here got mitigated. You guys haven't missed out on anything because I mentioned this earlier. We're waiting for price to either break and retest from this area, or we're looking for it to reverse here and mitigate this imbalance, which is what happened here. So this imbalance here has been mitigated. Price is now coming down from this point. We do have a support, resistance up here. So we got a resistance level right there. And price is now coming back down to this imbalance. So now let's see if price mitigates this imbalance, right? Broken retest here. It's right here, and then we'll see here for breaks and closes below here. Yeah, so a lot said understood. It must be a separate account than daily trading. Yeah, exactly. Completely separate a lot. And if you want to, the best case scenario is trade it with your own personal funds. But you need a lot of money to trade this on your personal funds, right? If you want to swing trade something like YM with your actual cash, you would need per contract, you need 21,000, right? And that's to buy just one contract. That's not to buy the whole share. So yeah, it's pretty much damn near impossible to do it unless you have like a crazy amount of capital to cover the margin requirements. Because let's see, what's the initial margin for, I can look it up for you guys here. Let's ask ChatGPT real quick. Um, what is the initial margin for YM Dow Futures on NinjaTrader per contract? Yeah, I mean, this is like it's out of the question to trade this. Like if I could swing trade this on my personal account, I would. But okay, so here is I just asked ChatGPT real quick. Just a quick answer. So yeah, for the initial margin, this means that you need this much money in your account per contract. So if you want to take one contract, I guess it's not as much as I thought, but you need 11,400 floating. If it ever goes below 11,400, you're gonna get margin called out. So yeah, you would need at least like probably 15,000 to hold a position overnight just for one contract, right? Um, yeah. So it's going to cost a lot because you're gonna want to take more than one contract to swing trade it. So that's best case scenario. Best case scenario, say you just have a nest egg and you're kind of just holding on to it or whatever, and you have extra money on the side, then yeah, you can open an account and swing trade it. The second option is open an account with FTMO, which was what I did. But the thing with FTMO is that there's going to be ceilings there because with FTMO there's a daily loss limit. That's what I realized last night. I was like, fuck, I gotta factor in the daily loss limit because it's 5,000 per day, 10,000 or yeah, 5,000 per day and 20,000 total. So I mean it's still a good gig, but you gotta make sure you don't violate that, the daily drawdown. So yeah, I mean if it's something that you guys want to try out and check, you can probably try out FTMO. The thing with FTMO is just it's a bit expensive. I paid for mine last weekend and it was like I think 1,400 for the account. But once you pass it, it's great, right? The downside of FTMO is that there's a two-step process too. So I got to make 20,000 first, and then I got to make another 10,000 before I get to that funded stage. So it's gonna take me some time, but it's the fee is fully refundable once I'm funded. So it'll probably take me a couple months to pass that FTMO, maybe a month, maybe 2 months. But again, I'll just be swing trading on that account for the most part. All right, guys, this imbalance is mitigated. Again, there's no entries here at the moment. We're still following along. And identifying where this is going. Let's see. Darren is asking, hey Cody, are you using Replicano or TradeSync to copy all of your 20 Apex accounts? I'm using Replicano. I like using a native platform versus a web platform like TradeSync. I've heard of TradeSync and I think they're still kind of fairly new, so I don't really trust them as much to manage all of my accounts. So I'm just using Replicano. Maybe in the future, if if they've been around for a while and I've seen not too many issues, I may switch over to TraderSync because it is kind of nicer to have it on the cloud. But right now, I am using Replicano for all my accounts. All right, we got price pushing back up, guys. We have another imbalance right here. It's a pending imbalance, but looks like it's going to close here. So you got an imbalance right there, currently pending. We'll clean up this. I believe this resistance right here. You guys can see the consolidation around this area. A lot of back and forth here. Let's see. Sam said looking at 50, booking at 50 done for the day. Was not expecting this response. Level 2 data on point. Yeah, definitely. Sam said there's a lot of buy orders and level 2 data. Solid. Yeah, I mean, I could have seen it right there because it looked like price was retesting this imbalance from earlier. So it looks like it's basically it created a range here, right? So we started from this imbalance, created a resistance, consolidated a little bit, retested the imbalance, and now we are here back in this back and forth range. Have another imbalance right there. I know my chart looks a little messy, but it makes sense to me here. That's the key thing, guys, right? You always see people complaining about messy charts. The chart's only messy if you don't see what the person who marked it up is seeing, right? For me, I can see exactly what's going on here. I got a lot of liquidity kind of just hanging out around these points. I got an imbalance. I got a resistance, turn support. There's a lot of stuff here that's making like as long as it makes sense to you, it doesn't matter how messy your chart is. Don't I see a lot of people, they try to make their chart look as simple as possible. And they do it all for show, right? You see a lot of people who are on YouTube or people who are taking screenshots. What they try to do is they want to make it seem like trading is super simple. Trading is not that simple. If it was that simple, more people would be successful at it. So I know my chart looks a little messy here, but it makes sense to me. And yeah, it helps that I can kind of see what's going on here with regard to price action and market structure. Because right here, I can see the market structure. Right? I can see price broke above here. We tested this resistance, created a new resistance right here, consolidated a bit, retested this resistance, turned support, and now it's creating a range right here down the middle. So, just try to use whatever works to your advantage, guys. It doesn't matter if your chart's messy, it doesn't matter if your chart's clean. Whatever helps you see what you're looking for in the market, stick to it. Let's see, Darren City, I Trade Syncer just sent out news that they're experiencing high volume and connection issues. Yeah. The thing with Trade Syncer, guys, is that it's the same thing as Replicano. It's just that you're on the cloud. So I'd like to have it on my actual computer so that I can pull out of it if I needed to. Because the last thing you want to happen is you be in a position and then you know, the connection is disconnected and then you can't disconnect it because Trade Syncer is the one that with the connection issues, not you. Nice, Rev. Yeah, so Rev got a piece of that buy right there. His price bounced around. Darren is asking, no, there's a lot of entries today, Darren. I don't know if you just joined in. Did you get in here late today? There was a momentum breakout that came up right here. That was a full TP for 50 points. It pushed to 100. And then I took this position right here for the orb. So if you look at the Discord, my profits are right here. The official trades are going to be right here on the official profits. I took this partial orb entry. I moved my stop loss and profit and I got pulled out for profit and I locked in profit right there. So I took one trade myself. I didn't take the other one, but I took this first one here. And then Jonathan earlier took the momentum breakout right here as well. So we locked in 750. I'm still looking for entry here, but I just don't have a bias in the market. Like looking over here at my market structure, it's pretty mixed still. I mean, it's neutral for the most part, but the 1 minute and 5 minute are bullish. So let's go ahead and take a look at the overall trend again. 1 minute's bullish over here. Prices above the pivots. Trend meter is green. Pivots are angling to the upside. The 5 minute over here, it is neutral. So price was bearish. It's starting to flip to the upside. So the 5 minute it was bearish. It's starting to turn bullish, but it's still currently neutral at the moment. 15 minute over here is bearish, 30 minutes bearish, 1 hour is bearish, and the 4 hour here is bullish neutral. So it's pretty mixed right now. I don't have a bias. For me, I want to have a bias before I start looking for entries. So I'm not looking to just jump into any position here. The thing is, there's a lot of liquidity sitting up here. So if price does push up, there's targets here for price to grab, right? Price can just blast through here, grab liquidity, and then hit the sessions right there. We got the New York low and the London low up here. So just something to keep an eye out for. I mean, if price stays bullish, that's completely fine. I can see it staying bullish. Only problem here that I can think of is that price is currently at the resistance, right? This is a pretty strong resistance. You can see over here, price established the resistance here, double top. This could be a possible triple top, right? Now that price is in this upper resistance, you can see price either bounce off here, come back down, retest the imbalance, or you might have price here finally break above, retest it, grab liquidity, and push up higher, right? A lot of things here, a lot of possibilities, a lot of opportunities. There's just a lot of things here that can happen. Yeah, no problem, Darren. Glad I locked in that profit. It's a nice start to the week. Not a great start, but it's a nice start to the week. I'm gonna go over here and I'm going to update my trader sync actually, so that I can have my trades uploaded from here. Yeah, as you guys can see here, I've been grinding out the my questions here. I'm almost at 100% average for my. I've been knocking out these questions for my test. So I do have my exam coming up, guys, for the Series 3. I'm pretty confident that I'm going to pass it. It's just, it's just a technicality. Now I've just got to sit down for it and take it. I'm taking my test on September 15th, so hopefully after September 15th, I can get the ball rolling with the hedge fund and reopen it to the public. So I'm thinking timeline, end of September, reopen to the public. Latest, probably early October, given that I passed the exam on my first try. So just a heads up. I know a lot of you guys are wondering and curious and want to know when it's going to be up and running. It'll be pretty soon, hopefully. Hopefully sooner than later. Sam said 361 liquidity will decide YM fate. Okay, let's see. So yeah, Sam is looking for price to sweep off the liquidity up here, which I can see happening, right? Price can push up, grab liquidity, and come right back down. So there's two things that may happen here, and it lines up exactly with what I was saying earlier. Sam is looking for a possible sweep here and continuation back to the opening price. And I'm looking for, well, I'm not looking for the opposite, but I'm looking for the other scenario, which is possibly grab liquidity, retest resistance, and push up to the next level up here. Two different areas here. Yeah, Sam said not selling his market is bullish. Yeah, I mean, market is definitely bullish right now, of course, on the lower time frames as well. 1 minute, 5 minute flipping to bullish. So we'll see. I mean, price here might just sit at this area, it might not do anything. Right? We got a triple top right here. Triple, quadruple top. Rejection, rejection, rejection. The more times that it rejects, the odds are that it's going to break through, right? It can only reject off it so many times until it breaks past it. So it might be a matter of time. I mean, we have the imbalance right here. We have the resistance right here. Price is kind of just sitting around this area. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat. Let me check the Zoom real quick. Looks like we do have some questions here. CJ's asking, hey Sean, what size are what size are you using for your FTMO? It's been so long since you traded FTMO, I forgot. I bought the biggest one, so I'm at 200K on FTMO. It's nice because I have 20,000 max drawdown and have 20,000 profit target. So it's balanced, right? It's 1 to 1. It's not like Apex where it's like you got to get 20,000 and then you can only lose 7,000. That thing always annoyed me with 300K counts on Apex. I was like, why is this spread so wide? The spread is like more than double. So it's balanced on FTMO. The only downside is that it's 5,000 max loss per day. So, that's one thing that I forgot about FTMO. There's a daily loss limit. Yeah, CJ said FTMO is more expensive, but you get a refund and there's no lifetime fee. Exactly. Yeah. So that's the good thing with FTMO. Like once you buy the account, you can just take your time passing it because once you pass it, you get a refund. So I paid 1,300 or 1,400 for the 200K account. Once I pass that account and I get my first payout, I get a refund of 1,400. So I get the money back. So as long as you don't blow the account, you don't screw it up, should be perfectly fine. That's what I like the most about FTMO. CERN is asking what lot size are you using for FTMO? I'm currently using a 20 lot size. But the thing that I realize is that I need to lower it because if I take more than one trade per day, it's gonna trigger my daily loss. So I was using 20 contract or 20 lot sizes, 20 lots. I might drop it down to 10 lots so that my risk is 2,500 per trade, not 5,000. That's currently where I'm at. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Sharon. Yeah, almost there. Almost, we're in that long stretch. I know you've been waiting for it, Sharon, for us to get you back on there. So hopefully, we get that up and running by the end of the month. Yeah, I forget, sir. Do you know if is it like a hard rule? It's a hard rule, right? If you reach that daily loss limit, I think you blow the account, right? So I have to I have to make sure because I'm not going to throw away 1,400 and then have to buy another account. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I know before it used to be a soft one. They would just lock out your account or they would give you a warning. But yeah, it seems like it'd be a hard requirement now. It's all good. I will make sure that I have that in place. It's so different comparing lot sizes to contract sizing. Gotcha. Thanks, Lila. Yeah, I figured you'd blow the account if that was the case. So it's good to know. I'm gonna make sure I don't blow it because with the FTMO accounts, you can take as long as you want. There's no monthly fee, there's no activation fee, and you get a refund on the account. Yeah, Sam said, do not sell, guys. Just my thought. I agree with you, Sam, 100%. I'm not looking to sell here either. The bias right now is flipping to bullish. I think there's a big correction happening here, or it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time until it actually plays through. So, guys, 7:41 right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat. Again, if you guys are just joining in, there was a couple entries which came up today. We had the momentum breakout, full TP over here for 50 points. It pushed to over 100 points. So if you wanted to go for that 1 to 2 or 1 to 3, actually, it pushed to 180 points. So there were opportunities here for for both. So we got that right there. The other entry I took was the orb. I took it for a partial. I got in and out very quickly, and these are my profits right there. I'm gonna update my traders thing. I'm doing it right now, actually. Um, for some reason, I'm getting an error with trader sync, trying to update my positions. Let me see year to date. Weird. I'm gonna do my personal account first. Let's go back over here. There's no entries right now, guys. Price is coming back and retesting this imbalance. It's just in a big range. So if you look over here, price is just ranging back and forth right now down the middle. That is unusual. Okay. I'm trying to update my accounts on TraderSync. For some reason, like my Apex accounts aren't uploading to it. My personal one did. I mean, didn't make that much on my personal today, so it's not much to show. So my personal account over here, I locked in 180. It's the top account right there. I'm trying to log into these. There's or just one set of them at least. I think these right here, the 140 or the 420. Yeah, I don't know. I'll let it load up. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to hop into the chat. Price is just ranging between this middle range right here. So there's nothing for me to take at the moment. I'm kind of waiting for some sort of confluence, right? I don't have a direction of bias right now, so I don't have a direction that I want to trade in at the moment. It's kind of just waiting for a confirmation. Because like I've said before, I don't like trading in the sideways market. If you guys want to trade in the sideways market, I mean, feel free. You guys can look for sweeps or you can look for V1 variations. Like for example, just look over here. See how price came up to this resistance? See how there's a V1 variation right here? That could have been a sell right there that you could have taken. You could have, if you don't want to trade up the sweep up here, you could have just waited for the V1 variation or this down. So there's entries that are coming up. It's just not the type of entries that I'd be looking to take. So yeah, I'll just leave that up for example if anybody's looking to take those. It's just I'm not looking to force any trades here. This isn't the best market to be really risking. We're not really risking, but taking unnecessary risks to be more precise. So again, right here, sweep or V1 variation. So if you're looking for entry here again, guys, the thing that you probably want to look out for would be a possible V1 variation or sweep off this resistance turn support right here. So I look for price to come down, bounce off there, and come right back up. I'm not going to take it because I'm not looking to take any sweeps here. But if you're like really itching to take a trade, that would obviously be your opportunity there. There's also a MPS V2 which came up right here as well. So we had the V1 variation right there off this reversal candle. And then we had a sell signal retracement confirmation for V1 variation right there for a sell. So there's entries here. I mean, if you really, really want to take an entry or you feel like the need to take something, there's entries that are coming up. They're just not entries that I would recommend or ones that I would take personally. It's just not worth the risk, in my opinion. But then again, I'm very conservative, so I'm not the person to ask for these to if you should take a risky trade or not, because my answer is always going to be no. right? I'm all about taking quality entries, A plus plus entries that I feel very confident in. I don't feel very confident in these entries here. Although these entries are coming up pretty nicely, it's not the types of entries that I'm personally looking to take. Again, if you guys want to take this right here, you can look for a possible sweep off this resistance turn support, or you can look for the bounce and then look for the confirmation of V1. So V1 reversal. This imbalance here has been mitigated, so this is no longer valid. Take that imbalance off. And now we have price in this huge range, right? So price cut into this range about over here at 651. And it's continuing to just go back and forth between the range. It's 7:49 right now, so we're 10 minutes until 8 o'clock. My cutoff for trading is 8 o'clock. Honestly, I'm not really looking to take anything here right now. So if you guys do want to take something, feel free to take whatever you feel comfortable with. If you have any questions or if there's any entries that you're looking at, if you want me to take a look at it, give you my analysis, just hop into the chat, tell me what your strategy is, tell me what your entry's at, and I can give you my analysis. But right now, I'm not looking to take anything. My overall market structure here is a little mixed. I mean, if anything, I'm probably going to start looking for some sells here if it does confirm. Right now, the 1 minute's bullish, 5 minutes bearish, 30 minutes bearish, 4 hours bearish. So we got this here starting to swing to the downside. Overall trend over here is starting to flip back down too. So the 1 minute over here, you can see price is now below the pivots. The trend meter is blue. Pivots are angling to the downside. It's flipping from bearish to bullish to neutral to now back to bearish. The 5 minute here is back to bearish, 15 minutes bearish, 30 minutes bearish, 1 hour is bearish, and the 4 hour is actually turning bearish too. This is a big thing right here because if the 4 hour turns bearish, the 4 hour is going to lead and it's going to continue to drop. So that's something to keep an eye out for here. I mean, sales might be a good opportunity if they hold, right? You got to see if this here holds because everything here is starting to turn bearish. 4 hours bearish, 1 hour, 30 minute, 15 minute, 5 minute. The one minute here is the only time frame that has not confirmed the bearish bias. So if you're looking to take some sells here, sells could be good. You just have to wait for that confirmation, right? Again, look at this here. It's currently at the resistance turn support. We had a sweep right here, and this can easily just break below and come down lower. We're just in a huge range at the moment. Let's see. Sam said, actually, I'm not happy with my not selling analysis, so I'm staying out. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Sam, 100%. Alex is asking, what is your criteria for identifying imbalances or nullifying them? So in order for me to nullify, or here, let's take it back a step. So in order for me to identify the imbalance, I want to see a pretty strong imbalance push, right? So like, for example, here I have a small imbalance here, and this is from this green candle and this one right here, right? So the imbalance started from this one right here, basically from this wick, and then it connected to this one right here, right? Because this big green candle right here was the imbalance where it was created. And so that's the first step. That's how I identify the imbalance there. Other people may call this a fair value gap. It doesn't matter, same name, fair value gap, imbalance, whatever we want to call it. I call it imbalance because I don't like using ICT terms. For me, I'm not a big ICT fan, of course. And a lot of people aren't. He just basically rebranded a lot of these terms. It's an imbalance, all right? To keep it simple, it's an imbalance. I don't like calling it fair value gaps, but if you want to consider it a fair value gap, feel free. You can call it whatever you like. I just call it imbalance. So that's how I identify the imbalance there. In order for me to nullify it, I make sure that there's a retest and continuation away from it, right? So for example, here we had the imbalance established. It retested on this red candle, and then it pushed back up, right? So that's where I nullified it. And then to give me second confirmation, again, right here, we had a second retest, right? So that nullified it even more. Now we have price over here testing it a third time. Usually by the third test, it's going to break past it. So here it's going to mitigate it, remove the nullification if it closes below it. So in order for me to invalidate or mitigate my imbalance, I need price to close outside the imbalance. So for example, if this red candle here closes below this green box where the imbalance is at, then this imbalance is going to be mitigated, or invalidated. So that's basically how I identify imbalances. I'm not doing anything complicated, right? I'm doing the same way that most people identify imbalances or fair value gaps or gaps, again, whatever you want to call it. But my extra confirmation is that I like to look for that retest, right? Same with this one over here. There was an imbalance right here. There was no actual retest of it. So this hasn't really been nullified. Like this can easily be broken past. But see how this one here is pretty strong? We had a retest right here, nullified it initially, second retest right there, and then third retest right here. Now that we're at three retests, at this point, I think if it comes down a fourth time, I think it's going to break past it. It can only hold for so long. The thing with this imbalance, though, is that it ties in with this resistance, right? So there's two structures here. We have the imbalance, plus we have the structure here, which is a resistance turn support. So with that being the case, this imbalance is actually a lot stronger than a normal imbalance because it's not just an imbalance, it's also resistance turn support. So just, stuff there to keep in mind. Again, my way might not be the right way, but it works out for me. And you can see over here that it kind of played out perfect. I had this imbalance marked up from 650 and it's been holding pretty nicely since. So yeah, that's just my way of identifying it. Again, my way could be right, my way could be wrong. Doesn't matter if it works for your analysis or works for my analysis. I'm gonna keep identifying it that way. But that's how I identify it. All right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to hop into the chat. It is 7:55 right now. We're getting closer and closer to 8 o'clock. Again, let me see if my trade sync. Now, I'm still getting an error here with my trade sync. For some reason, it's not loading up. Okay, it looks like it's working now. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, for some reason, my trader sync, it always tends to sometimes have issues. It's loading up now. It's just taking some time. It's got 20 accounts. That's gonna have to load up 20 different trades there. I should start to upload my other ones though. Eventually, I'll probably do that in the future. Let's see. Sam said, I believe YM is coming down to fill 45,175 and pull up. Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I might come back down here and retest this. So if this imbalance gets mitigated, I could see it come down to the next imbalance and push back up. Or, it can just bounce off the opening price. The opening price is also right here below it. So it's respecting this big range here. It's been within this range for a while. Who knows? Yeah, who really knows, right? We'll continue to follow it here. Right, there we go. Okay, perfect. So my trader sync finally updated. All right, let me move this over real quick. So these aren't all of my profits. This is maybe half. I'm probably closer to like the 15,000, 20,000 range. But here we are. We're kicking off the month of September, guys. Here are my stats for the month so far. So I took one trade here for the orb. It was a partial entry. And here are my profits. So I locked in 11,580. This is just for like maybe half of my accounts. I have another like 20, 30 accounts. So my profit is more so like around 15,000 to 20,000 for the day. This is just partial. It's not a full move. I got out for 10 points. So that's why I locked in just, X amount of profit. But yeah, we're kicking off the month with some profit here for September. Last month, I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wins and one loss, total profit of 130,065. And then the month before that, in July, I locked in 168,095. So I've been in a pretty nice upwards trend over here. Unfortunately, I took a loss in August. It would have lined up with my profits for July. I like to, I'm always like looking to increase this. I had 168 and then I had a 130. This was at 160, but unfortunately, I took a loss there and then, it knocked me down to 130. Right here for September, I'm currently up 11,580 for the week, just one trade for the day, and it was a partial. And then here are my stats for the year so far. So for the year so far, I'm currently at 723,875 gross, 623,109 net. And then we're still in a nice upwards trend here. So if you guys are new to the channel or if you guys have been following me for the year so far, I've been documenting every single trade I've been taking on this live session. Every trade's been recorded. Every live session's been recorded. From January up until April over here, I did pretty good. And then we had the tariff news, so I was pretty much break even from like April until July. I was trying to adapt with the market, finally adapt with the market here in July. And then now from July up until today, September 1st, been in another upwards trend here. So it's a pretty big jump, right? From July over here, I started off at about 439,000. I'm now at 723,000. So nice increase right there over the past couple months. And I'm hoping that it continues to move that way for September, October, November, December. So I close out this year pretty strong. Trying to reach for that goal, right? The goal of 1 million. But I mean, we'll see. We will see here. As long as I keep up the consistency month over month, I mean, I should hit that goal. And then next year we'll try to double that, right? We'll just keep doubling the goal. Let's see, Sam City at sweeping something right now, wrapping up. See you all tomorrow. All right, so Sam is done for the day, guys. It's about to be 8 o'clock. If you guys have any more questions, feel free to hop into the chat. Otherwise, we will be done pretty soon. Let's see, Zachary is asking, sorry, Zach, I just saw your message right now. So Zachary said, hi, Sean. I just bought an FTMO challenge, but found the account, but the screen is black and in green. Oh, yeah. So I had the same issue too, Zach. So go over here to MT5. You're on MT5, right? You got to be on MT5. So go to File, go to Log into Trade Account, and you got to put your login details right there. You're probably on your old FTMO from when it was around before. That's what was with me, right? It says US 30 whatever dot cash. You're probably on the wrong account. So you got to go here to File, Log to Trade Account, put in your account details, and then once you have that set up, close all your windows too. Make sure you don't have any random charts open from your previous MetaTrader 5. And then go to File, New Chart, and then open up. It's going to be US 30 U25.sim. Yeah, it was like I had to like mess around with it to figure out how to get it fixed too. But that's how I got it. I went to File, log in a trade account, put your account details, and then make sure all your chart windows are closed, and then just reopen a new chart. It's a US 30 U25. Okay, perfect, great. Yeah, I know it's annoying. It had all my details from like 2023. I think the last time I was on FTMO was in 2023. So it was still on the old account. Yeah, perfect, no problem. But all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to hop into the chat. Looks like we're pretty much done for the day. It's 8 o'clock. Again, here are my I only took one trade for the day, which was the orb, a partial entry, of course, which I'm okay with. Better than a loss. And I locked in a total of 11,580 to kick off this trading week and to kick off this trading month of September. So nice start to the week. Not a huge profit, but some profits better than none. And if you guys do decide to continue trading here, look out for the break. I think if price breaks past this imbalance right here, guys, anticipate it to drop lower. I think price is going to keep dumping after this. Just something to keep in mind. But I'm done for the day. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord. If there's any questions, really, guys, just hop into the chat, right? I'm hanging out here. So if there's anything that you want me to look at, just hop into the team chat, put your questions, and I'll answer. If you're asking me like 20 questions, because, over the weekend, I got like a message from someone and they sent me like 50 messages and it was like Friday night. And I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna respond to that, brother. Like if you're gonna send me 50 messages, give me at least a day or two to respond to you. But if you're not gonna get a response, don't get upset that I'm not responding to you because it was the weekend and I'm not gonna respond to like 50 messages all in like one day. But yeah, I'm open to answer questions, but at least give me some time to respond, guys. Don't expect me to respond to your crazy amount of inquiries within like a couple minutes or so. Because yeah, I'm just not going to respond to that, guys. So again, if there's any questions, feel free to hit me up on Discord, guys. Otherwise, pretty good day today. Again, if you guys are just joining in, Momentum breakout over here hit full TP for 50 points, and then it pushed down to 180. Orb over here, we got out for a partial, and there was nothing here for scalps because price just kept going back and forth throughout the day. So, all right, guys, if there's any other questions, hit me up. Otherwise, I will see you guys back.